Hey everyone, hey wellness crew. So, oftentimes people have a lot of reasons as to why they feel as though they can't trust themselves. Maybe they've made negative decisions in the past that caused really significant consequences. Maybe they've just done stuff that has not served them and that has caused them a lot of guilt and shame. It's really not that complicated to start to get to the point to learn how to trust yourself, right? It's just about thinking about what your values are, what's important to you, what are the things that you do that make you feel good, that make you feel like you're on the right path, that make you feel like you're on your, life track, right? And also being sure that when you make any kind of commitment to yourself, that you keep it. That's one of the first things. If you say, I'm going to start waking up at 6 a.m. every morning so I can get a workout in, right? And then day one, you hit snooze. Well, that's breaking a commitment to yourself. And not that I want anyone to have guilt or shame about that. What I do want you to know is that your body, your mind, they start to kind of like, well, they said they were going to do this and they didn't, so what's going on? So, following through with commitments that you make to yourself, and again, all of this is intrinsic, is a great way to start trusting yourself and trusting your decisions. Now, all of us have made mistakes. All of us have been in situations where maybe we had to suffer a really severe consequence for a decision that we made. Regardless, you don't have to carry that with you. You don't have to hold that guilt with you forever. All you have to do now is take that situation and look at it as something that you can learn from. Always look, when you can, at past mistakes or maybe things that you feel like you did incorrectly or wrong or whatever it may be, whatever the emotion of, the guilt and the shame, whenever that comes up, right? I want you to think about it as, okay, what lessons can I take from this? What exactly can I learn from this? And when you start to really kind of go down that line of questioning, and when you start to realize that, oh my gosh, I can learn so much from this, it's teaching you how to trust yourself. And this is why you're understanding the entirety of whatever the situation was, the entirety of whatever the mistake was, right? And now you know that it should have happened. It was supposed to happen because now you have this opportunity to learn from it. In the moment, it's often very difficult to see it that way. But oftentimes in retrospect, it's a lot easier. I can tell you from personal experience that choosing to see these mistakes or these things that I'm or was feeling unhappy about that I made, I now have no issues with them. I now understand I needed to grow, I needed to learn, I needed to understand a little bit more about myself. And when you're understanding more about yourself, that's also enabling you to trust yourself because you know, okay, this is how in this current, present moment, this is how I'm going to react to XYZ. Okay. Now that you know whether to engage or disengage from that particular situation or activity, whatever it may be. Trusting yourself also comes from being able to trust your judgment, not based it on what you've done in the past, but basing it on what you're doing now. If you feel as though you can't trust your judgment, ask yourself why not. Have there been consequences recently that have led you to feel as though maybe I don't have the best judgment? Have you been in a relationship maybe, or a series of relationships that haven't been working out? Are those things that are something that you think about and then kind of stop you from feeling as though you can trust yourself? I always say to lead with your gut and lead with your heart, not necessarily with your mind. but your subconscious is always listening. So you really want to, if you do want to be in a place to be able to trust yourself, think about it. Don't overanalyze it, but do think about it, and maybe say an affirmation like, I am trustworthy and I can trust myself. Or I can trust myself because there are others that trust me. Things like that. Because it's so important that we're in a place where we can trust ourselves. Because what that does is that increases our confidence. That usually will help us be in a better mood. Because then we're not like, oh no, like what am I doing? Or is this something I'm supposed to do? What's going on? So those are just a few things that you can do in order to kind of maybe regain your trust or learn how to trust yourself. There's obviously a lot more things that you can do, but I just wanted to do a little quick, like, here's a few ideas just to get you on the right path. So that way we can get you to feeling better too. So we can get you to feeling good about yourself and good about having the ability to trust yourself, knowing that you're a trustworthy person. One last thing too is living with integrity. There were times that when I was younger, I would feel as though I couldn't really be honest about certain things, right? Or I felt as though I had to hide certain things. At this point in my life, what I know now is that there's energy in these things that I share. There's energy in all the things that I do. So if I don't want to share something, I just won't share it. If I don't want to talk about something, I just won't talk about it. I have my boundaries set. I just say no. You know, having that ability too, that will definitely help when it comes to trusting yourself, because you need, I won't say you need to because that's very like limiting, but living with integrity to the best of your ability, right? But living with integrity, what that is aligning with your values, your beliefs, aligning with what you think is right. That's what it is. And it doesn't mean you have to be like a completely open book all the time and sharing your total life story to anyone that will listen. Oftentimes that's going to scare people away. If you just randomly start opening up to a stranger, probably not the best way to start any type of communication with somebody, talking about yourself, right? A lot of the times people want to talk about themselves. So now that we know that, right, because people like to talk about themselves, let the other person share. And then if you have something that is similar or something that's relatable, then maybe share like an aspect of something. But you never have to go into everything with like 100% like, okay, here's my book. Because I know that sometimes it's easy for that mistake to be made. But going back to, having that integrity, living with integrity is, again, going to support you trusting yourself. Keeping the commitments that you make to yourself is really going to help you trust yourself. Okay? And I do want you to, and I want you to be able to not feel like you can't or feel like you are unable to make decisions or get stuck. That's the opposite of what I would want for you. I really care about the content that I produce. I really care about sharing insights into things that I coach and that I help others with, because I think that people should have the opportunity to get some of those insights as well if they haven't gotten them already. And all of this comes from my heart and from my gut. It all comes from an organic place. And I love doing what I do. So I can only hope that for you. I can only hope that you can find and reach a place where you truly feel as though you can trust yourself. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Be well, stay wild. If my remote will work. I leave it on too long and then it's like da 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 da. I'm not big on editing. So, anyways, bye.